Today on episode 252 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, a brand new team builder, our College Hoops Corner, and the TCF Top 3 of Desired Athletic Abilities. Let's roll. Hello and welcome back to Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Today is episode 252. Make sure you find us on X at typical_Chicago, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Find us on there. Give those a follow as well. Head on over to the YouTube page. Subscribe there for all of our content in video form. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Subscribe, rate, review, 5 stars. Wherever you can on wherever you get your podcasts, check us out on there. You can find me on X at BoomingTCF. And, of course, the man that I'm joined with tonight, you can see on YouTube. That's Zach Ezzi, Lilia TCF. Zach, I know I said it last week, but we're in spring, baby.
Yes, we are. It's finally, well, it's kind of chilly right now. But I got 2 rounds of golf in this weekend, which makes me feel happy inside.
Can't go wrong.
But, yeah, it's spring. It's also, what would you say, tornado season, as they say.
Yeah.
Severe thunderstorm season.
Let's say that a little quieter, though. My wife upstairs, terrified of tornadoes.
So am I. I am actually very terrified of storms. I am 30 years old, and I still am not a fan. I don't know if anyone's actually a fan.
No.
But it makes your stomach hurt a little bit every once in a while when there's a tornado warning.
But I am that idiot. Like, if there's a tornado sighted, I'm going outside.
Yeah, go see it until it gets there. But, yeah, it's that time of year where we're able to get back out on the golf course, go outside and do some stuff. You can go out with
take the little man to the park, go for a walk, as long as he doesn't see any ducks or geese.
Yeah, we were in a bad spot then.
Bad spot.
He wanted to go play with the ducks.
Unfortunately, they were in the lake.
And they are not very nice animals either.
Yeah, exactly. He was mad that I wouldn't let him go in the lake to play with the ducks because they wouldn't come out.
But unfortunately, you have to learn some life lessons.
Yep, absolutely.
Speaking of that, we'll get into it a little bit before we do anything else. My nephew learned a life lesson this weekend. We went to the Lakers-Bulls game. And with about 10 minutes left, I sat by myself, and my brother-in-law and my nephew went. They were pretty much on the other side of the arena. And with about 10 minutes left, I was sitting by myself, wasn't a fan of most of the people I was sitting around. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to move. I'm going to go to the sports book. There's a FanDuel sports book right when you come in the entrance on the one side.
Yeah, but like that foyer area with the statues.
The side of the United Center where there is no parking lot on the other side. Right there is a FanDuel sports book. So I was like, the Cubs are on. There was some
it was opening night. Yeah,
the Sweet 16 was on. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go watch those games. And ended up missing maybe the greatest shot in recent Chicago history.
Yeah.
They scored 9 points within like 13 seconds and won the game. But I was technically in the building, and I got to run out and watch the ending of it. So it's actually kind of a better story, I would say, than being actually there. I guess that's how
you got to rationalize it somehow.
But
this is still. It's been like 4 or 5 days. I cannot stop laughing at.
But it was pretty cool. Just like because there were so many LeBron fans, which is what my nephew is, and they lost, and he got a lesson in being a fan. He was not very happy at the end of the game. About the way the Lakers lost the game, and Uncle Zach didn't make it any better by when I did finally get to the vehicle. I was pretty excited. Didn't realize he was not excited. But I got an experience myself. I walked around the whole United Center outside, which nowadays is a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, it's a great story for the podcast. Yes, I did miss the Josh Giddey shot over LeBron James. But I was like, let's say like 30, 40 feet away from the entrance when it happened.
Yep.
Because the sportsbook has the live game, but it's the CHSN.
Yep.
So there is a what would you say?
It's the 5-second delay.
It's a buffer between
the TV delay.
And
so you heard it before you saw it.
There were so many Laker fans that I thought the Austin Reeves layup was what people were going excited for. So I still, in the moment when I saw the shot, I still went crazy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because there was quite a bit of people in the sports book. We all went crazy, ran out to the United Center, got to see him celebrate, got to see them interview Josh Giddey and Dalen Terry. Kind of got on there and was going crazy. So it was a cool experience.
Oh, for sure.
It sucks that I missed the shot, but what are you going to do?
Even to say you're in the arena is something to say.
You
were closer than I was.
I did not think that they were going to come back either. There was about 5 minutes left. They were down 10.
Yep.
And I'm like, I got a better chance of just watching some of the other college basketball games. And
for sure.
The Cubs game was just about starting then. So, you know what? I'm not mad at the situation. I'm actually kind of happy with the way my story gets to be played out. Yep. But I would have liked to see the shot.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, that was a crazy situation. But the moral of the story is my nephew learned a lot of how to be a sports fan.
A little bit of humble pie.
Heartbreak. Uncle Zach's been heartbroken by many of Chicago teams. He wasn't heartbroken by the Chicago team. It was actually by the Lakers.
Yep.
Because, you should have seen, I think it was 3/4 LeBron James jerseys.
That's hilarious.
You don't really see that a lot at a home game.
Exactly.
Unless LeBron's in town. And it's kind of cool. I got to see LeBron. It could be one of the last times he plays in Chicago. You never know when he's going to hang up the shoes.
Yep.
But overall, cool night. But, yeah, a story that I thought right when it happened, my mind went to the podcast.
Yep.
You know what? I get to tell this on the podcast. And it was an easy way out of the game, too, because it would have been hard to get from my seat to the entrance.
Yep.
So that kind of made it a little bit better. But, I was in the sports book of the United Center when Josh Giddey hit the game-winning shot over LeBron James.
That's a hell of a story.
Yeah, I guess.
There's no other way to put it.
I just had to say it was a great story to make myself feel better.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump into things. As always, we've got our sinkers and floaters. My sinker this week is the tush push. It is going away, as it should, in my opinion. The Packers started a revolution, and everybody's realizing that the Packers are right. If the defense can't push from behind, the offense shouldn't either.
I agree with you, but it's nice that I can say, oh, well, it was the Packers who had to do it just to make myself feel a little better.
Even though I'm right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and
screw Philadelphia.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
Also the thing. But, yeah, because it was a rule, and then it wasn't, and then – now it is.
That's my problem. So here's the thing. I'm going to look like a sore loser, right? Because I want it banned because the Packers started it. But my thing is that if the defense cannot push, then the offense shouldn't either. If we want to keep the tush push in, I'm fine with that, but allow the defense to do the same thing with a linebacker to push the middle.
And I'm so tired of the NFL going from rule to rule because of the outcome of certain games. Like when they had they had pass interference could be challenged and stuff like that, and then they took it away, right? They took it away.
They made it challengeable,
but you don't see it a lot anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong. But they did that because
take pass interference away.
No, they did the challenge.
Yeah.
Because of what happened in a playoff game.
Yes.
So it's kind of that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
It's a reactionary.
Something happens, and then a rule that wasn't a rule. Or it was a rule, not a rule. Now it's a rule again. It kind of makes the NFL look kind of weak in a way.
I don't disagree.
But I am happy it happened because it does not benefit the Bears in any way.
No.
So.
And like I said, I'm not completely opposed to it being a thing, but then that's fine. But now we have to put in a rule that the defense can push, and they're not going to. If they're not going to do that, then take it away.
And help Philadelphia, so might as well take it away.
I completely agree there.
My sinker is the dentist. I have gone to
don't get me started.
I had to go to the dentist for the first time in many of years. Had 4 cavities.
You think you would learn after hearing my stories about not going for 10 years.
Sometimes you just forget because I've had my wisdom teeth.
That reminds me, I think I have an outstanding bill at my dentist I got to pay.
Well, don't say that live on camera. And I had my wisdom teeth pulled, and I had another tooth pulled way in the back. And so I was like, I got to be all right. Went 4 cavities on the same side. Last week had 2 filled. Had to go back in like 2 or 3 weeks to get the other 2 filled.
That's what drives me nuts. Like, just do them all 4 at once.
Well, I don't think they can do top and bottom at the same time and then get that shot. It's just awful. No one likes the dentist. But, yeah, the dentist is my sinker, and it should be everyone's sinker. I don't know. If you like going to the dentist, you are a crazy person.
I got to a point where I was going so much, like, I enjoyed the ladies that worked there.
Yeah,
they were nice ladies.
Nice.
I was on a first-name basis.
Nothing wrong with the people there. It's what they do to you.
Exactly.
Because you got the fillings, they're just grinding your teeth.
Yep.
And nothing is worse than having somebody work on your teeth. You can be the nicest person in the world. I don't want you working on my teeth.
This is my hottest take and something I've learned in the last 5 or 6 years. I would rather get a root canal than a cavity fill. Root canals have come so far.
Well, yeah.
Barely even felt the root canal.
But
cavity,
you want to get the cavity filled so you don't get to the root canal because it's a lot different. They at least can fill it in.
Yep.
But, yeah, there's nothing really wrong with any of it. Once you're numb, it doesn't really matter. But sometimes the process of getting to the numb when you do the shot, it sucks.
Exactly.
But, yeah, I actually went to the Bulls game the night of.
Oh, yeah.
Of it. So it wasn't horrible per se, but I was playing hurt.
Remember when I drove solo out to New York and Boston and all that? The morning I left, I got a cavity filled that morning.
That's crazy. I don't know.
I left after
luckily,
getting
I met at my sister's, and then she took me to my brother-in-law's work, and he drove. I don't know if I could have drove all that way with it because afterwards it was hurting pretty bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I could drive.
I'm sure it's just because
you did.
I'm sure it's just because I have had in my life I've had so many cavities filled it just doesn't even.
You're numb to it.
I guess I am. I mean, I'd probably be willing to bet a dozen. And I brush my teeth every single day. I floss every 2 days. Doesn't matter. I also hit my head off a dashboard in a car accident when I was 8. That
explains a lot.
Well, they think because it knocked my front tooth out, but they also think that there was like a lot of damage that it caused. That like I was 8, so they didn't like take that into effect.
Is that where the starting of you hurting yourself all the time?
Oh, it was way before that. Way before. Remember, I had to go get my head sewn shut because I went face first into a radiator when I was like a year old.
Everyone listening goes, "This makes sense."
Yeah,
this makes sense.
There's a lot of stitch scars along this part of me.
Giant head.
Yep, absolutely. My floater is live concerts. I went when Zach was at the Bulls game on Thursday night. I was in Peoria. Watching a bunch of bands Zach's never heard of.
I have heard of the main band.
Killswitch Engage.
Yeah, the main band I've heard of.
So they were the headliner, but my favorite band out right now, Kubla Khan, they were insane. I'm 34 years old. I have no business being in a mosh pit. I was in the middle of the biggest mosh pit I've seen outside of Warped Tour in years. It was an incredible time.
It's funny to think that like the Bradley Center, there's a mosh pit.
Yeah, where they used to play the state tournament, I was standing in the middle of the Civic Center in a mosh pit, like watching a wall of death happen, like right in front of me.
But it's always fun to go do stuff like that.
Exactly. It was a great time. Went with my buddy and his lady. Met them there. It's an awesome venue. They've been doing a lot more concerts there. Got to see 2 bands I listen to a lot right now in Fit for a King and Kubla Khan, and then anyone who's heard of Killswitch Engage, they played all the hits back from the mid-2000s. So it was great to just get back out to a concert. It's been a while, and
it's kind of funny. Me and Boomy were on our way home at the same time.
Yeah.
I called them because we're never usually up that late in a car by ourselves. So we talked a little bit, and the Cubs game was on and stuff like that, and it
was a good Thursday night for the boys.
Yeah, we did something we usually don't do. I hadn't been to the Bulls game in a long time, and you hadn't been to – well, you go to a lot of concerts.
Yeah, I hadn't been to a metal concert like that in
both were
2 years.
Last-minute decisions, too.
Yeah.
So I right after I got my cavities filled, I ended up deciding to go to the Bulls game. And then Boomy, I think the night before.
Yeah, I think I bought my ticket at like 11 or midnight.
Yeah,
the night before.
They were last-minute decisions, but they were very fun for the both of us. My floater is the TGL. It was Monday, Tuesday. They had the finals.
Yep.
They kind of had a playoff that lasted 2 weeks. And it's cool. The way that the golfers got into it was pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. Billy Horschel was going crazy. I think some of the fans were cheering one way, and the other team won. And I think overall for the first year of the TGL,
very successful.
Very successful. I think there's going to be more teams maybe. They're trying to have more arenas in different areas. Yep. But I think overall, a
traveling thing.
Yeah, overall I think that it was a success.
I think so too.
Just because you get to see the personality of the golfers. and stuff like that. You always knew like a Patrick Cantley. He's not really into talking on the mic, but they had Justin Thomas and Billy Horschel on his team, and they loved it. And stuff like that, and the motions that they did, and it was just cool the way they did it. Like because there's actual putting and chipping. And then the way in the middle of the season they added the more hammers, because the hammers is if you throw it, it's worth 2 points, but if they accept it without like playing the hole out, the other team just gets the 1 point. And at the beginning of the season, they did 1 per team. And then by the end of the season, they had 3 each team. I think that made it more exciting. I think
for sure. I like that they were able to
see that
to change midway through.
They could tell we needed to fix this. We maybe should have done this to start, but we're going to do it in the middle and change up something that's going to help. And not just wait until the next season.
Exactly.
I think that they really did a good job with all of it. And the one thing is, the guy who is the main guy in it, Tiger Woods, I don't know if his team won at all.
And that's kind of when you were talking about, the players being able to show their personality. Like, we grew up with such a robotic, dominant person.
Still is, really. I mean, you don't really hear from golfers on the course. Nowadays, every once in a while, in the random PGA Tour tournaments, they do mic up a player for like a hole or something like that, but you don't really get to know the emotions of it. And stuff like that. And TGL, it's in a stadium. There's a bunch of people. They have like owners' boxes and stuff like that. And there's starting to have a lot more people involved outside of it. Like teams like Atlanta, I think the Atlanta Falcons owner is a part of it and stuff like that. Or the Boston team had like David Ortiz and stuff like that. So I think they really came a far way in the first season, and I think next year is going to be even better.
I'm excited. I only watched a little bit of it this year, but I've definitely.
It's a Monday, Tuesday. You're really not doing much on those nights.
My problem is in the winter, usually Mac basketball's on.
Oh, well.
I got to watch Mac
basketball.
You got to
watch Mac basketball. But
watch NIU go 5-24 again.
If you have multiple TVs, it's nice to have in the corner.
Well, I was going to say, it would be on the second TV, but lately, Spider-Man's been on the small TV.
Or Dino Ranch.
Dino Ranch. We're big into Dino Ranch right now. So, puppy dog pals, you never know what's going on the little TV. Let's move over to the TCF Sports Minute. These will probably be quick because we're winding down. Blackhawks, 8 games left. 21, 44, and 9, 51 points. Still the second worst team, but they are closing in on that last spot.
Yes, and it's fun to watch because they officially have, I think, the last 3 drafts. They have almost, or at least every player from that draft is on this team right now. They had 2 players the other night that made their rookie debuts. So it's nice to see their average defensive line was like 22 years old.
That's awesome.
So you kind of start seeing the rebuilding process and stuff like that from the trade in like 2022, I think it was, until now. You're really starting to see the rebuild come together.
It's kind of coming to fruition.
But they're not even close to the playoffs.
No, far from it.
But if next year they do come out and be a little better, I think that a lot of teams make the playoffs. So maybe they could be in contention next year. But for now, you got to worry about this year's draft. And I don't want to be like an annoying Chicago fan, but Bedard needs to have a good offseason.
Yes.
He's still lacking in certain spots. I know when Biz came out and said what he said about him, some of that stuff is still true. It seems like he's like kind of taking spots off and stuff like that. And I don't think I know Chief said it today on the stretch. He's not in a spot where he is going to lead a team to a Stanley Cup yet.
Yes, exactly.
But I am excited for the future of the Blackhawks, and that's all you can really think about at this point.
As of right now, according to Tankathon, the mock draft, it has the Blackhawks taking Michael Misa, centerman left winger from Saginaw.
Okay.
In the OHL.
I know that the Sharks are so bad that
But the Blackhawks are only 2 points up on the Sharks.
But I don't think there's many games
There's
left.
8 games. They're not dead yet.
But they keep winning. But what I would tell you is take the over in every Blackhawks game there is. I've taken the over in the last 3 Blackhawks games. It's gone over. Last night I took the over, or it was maybe afternoon, and they had 2 goals going into the second period, and I think they ended up like 4-2.
Yeah.
Or 5-2.
Yep.
So take the over in every game.
Moving to the Bulls, we talked a little bit earlier, but 33-41. Currently the 9 seed. They're 2.5 games out of the 8 seed, which is really where you need to be. They have 8 games left. I think it's too little, too late to get them to 2.5 games with 8 left.
It's crazy to say, but that game against Dallas was huge.
Mm-hmm.
They lost by 1. I think that was Saturday night.
Yeah, I think so.
And because if you get the 8th seed, you 8 and 7 play each other to get that 7th seed. You only got to win 1 game.
Yep.
9 and 10 plays the loser of that game.
Yep.
So you got to win 2 games just to get to the 8th seed.
To get Cleveland.
Yeah. So it would be nice if they could move up to that spot, but I don't think that there's enough games left.
And I don't want, I have been very, this team's not going to come close.
What are you going to do?
Here's the thing. Right now, this team is playing well enough to win 1 game against a Cleveland or a Boston. Now, I'm not saying that they're good enough to win 2, but I think that they're playing just well enough right now that they can win a game in
But the
that
thing is,
series
too,
if they get to it, obviously.
Lose out, it doesn't matter. Might as well have some fun, try and, I wouldn't say make a run, but playoff whatever is fun to watch.
Yep.
And I'm not going to sit here and beg for losses because you want the team to not succeed. At this point, just cheer them on. The play-in will be fun, maybe, and if they make it to the playoffs itself, you get a full. Well, it's every series is 7, right?
Yes, outside of the play-in,
which is crazy.
Yep. As of right now, the Bulls are slotted for the number 11 pick, according to NBADraft.net, has them taking Boogie Fland from Arkansas. I keep doing the draft simulator until the Bulls get the 1 pick and Cooper Flagg comes plays for the Bulls.
But even at that, I think Cooper Flagg's an amazing player, but other than that, there's really, I know Dylan Harper said today that he's going to be in the draft.
Yep.
It's just not a strong draft.
I could make some arguments, though.
Granted,
I know. Because even here, Con Knipple at 8, I think he's going to be a solid player. Derek Queen, who's had a really good NCAA tournament. Jeremiah Fears, Jace Richardson. There's a lot of good players. There's a lot of players with a lot of upside.
If you're in the first round of the NBA draft, you're a good player.
Yeah, but I see what you mean, though. I don't disagree with you at all. At the end of the day, if you're not getting Cooper Flagg or picking in the top 3, I don't think you're going to – even you put Cooper Flagg on the Bulls, they're going to be better, but, they're not going to be
That's the problem with if you get the 1 pick, usually you're not in a spot. If the Wizards get it, Cooper Flagg's not going to make them a playoff team next year.
No. A miracle couldn't make that team. Jesus Christ himself couldn't make that team.
Which is crazy to think back. I was talking with somebody because we were saying, historic stuff that's happened at Chicago games, and I was at the first hit for Chris Bryant, who just got 10 years of service.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
And now he stinks.
Well, he's on a bad team.
He's also not very good either.
He's playing a little better, though.
All right, I'll give it to you.
We don't need to hate on Chris Bryant.
Well, he doesn't play for the Cubs anymore. Screw him.
No. But I was there for the first hit, and then we went to the Bulls-Wizards playoff game that night. And the Wizards had a good team.
Oh, yeah, Gilbert Arenas.
They had who was the big white guy?
Marcin Gortat.
Yeah, I think he had the game-winning layup.
Yep.
And Carlos Boozer, I think, had the game-losing layup that game.
Shocker.
But they had John Wall, Bradley Beal.
Those teams were
the
solid.
Wizards were a good team.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy. The ebbs and flows of the NBA season. But 8 games left for the Bulls, 2.5 games out of the 8
They
seed.
play the night against the Thunder, which is the best team in the NBA.
Yeah. Moving to the north side, the Cubbies still have not had a home game. They will be at home on Friday.
They're having their 3rd opening day tonight.
Yep. So they're sitting at 2-4 because of the Dodgers series.
And also just a bullpen that fell apart.
Sunday
night was or Sunday afternoon. They had I think, was it 6-2 lead going into the 8th inning, and their bullpen blew it.
10-6.
10-6.
Now we'll have to get an update. My dad was boots on the ground at every game this past weekend.
That stadium looks awesome.
It is pretty. Granted, I haven't been there since 2008.
It looks like they open windows per se, and stuff like that. And you're in Arizona, so it's beautiful. And and now they go to Sacramento.
Yeah, playing in a minor league stadium.
Funny story, I have a friend, Screech, who was working there, and I think as a ticket rep.
Yep.
When they were a minor league team.
There's still a minor league team there.
No, I know, but when it was a minor league stadium, per se.
Yep.
Now I think they added some more seats and stuff like that.
I think they said 14,000 for
which is, the A's, when they were in Oakland, you have 10,000 and a 50,000 stadium. Yeah. At least it will look more packed.
That is true.
And the Cubs are probably being there on the biggest night of the year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is one like 50 years from now.
They are actually just the Athletics.
Yeah.
They are not Sacramento Athletics. They're not the Oakland Athletics. They're just the Athletics.
The Athletics, yeah.
But, yeah, they go there, and then they finally come home for their first, I think it'll be their second 1:20 Friday game in like 25 years.
For opening day, yeah. Yep, and they got the Padres this weekend. So the A's and the Padres.
Back out west next Thursday, or next Friday, a week from Friday, and they play the Dodgers and I think the Padres.
I think you're right.
Because as of April, we are done with the Dodgers.
I'm okay with that.
A series with the Dodgers in L.A., and then they have a 2-game series in Chicago, and I think that's like the end of April. We're done with them. We want to see in the rest of the season.
Good. I like to hear that. White Sox sitting at 2-2, almost had a no-hitter today. They defeat the Twins 9-0. Absolutely beat up on the Twins. They've got Minnesota this week, or the beginning of this week, and then they go to Detroit this weekend. Listen, I know the White Sox are 2-2. I know that this is much better. I am not saying that the White Sox are going to be fighting for a wild card spot, but we have said it on this show many, many times. This team is just, there's no way they're going to be worse than they were last year. Venable looks like he knows what he's doing. I mean, granted, they haven't.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah,
and really, truthfully, I know it sounds crazy, but if you put a plus $25,000 or plus 25,000 bet for them to win a division, that's not even crazy.
No,
because that's crazy odds to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they won 9-0 today. The offense is looking better. They may have had, I don't know what the grounds crew was doing.
That was brutal.
I don't know if like the tarp broke.
No, it got stuck. They couldn't. It got stuck underneath.
Well, you know what though? You can say whatever you want. They makeshifted a great tarp.
Very White Sox though.
But but they got it. They got it done.
It's just bad optics.
Yeah, bad optics, especially because there's supposed to be a lot of money put into the groundskeeping. But yeah,
not a good look.
They.
Hey, you know what? The game didn't get canceled.
They're the best team in Chicago right now.
You're not wrong. I hate to say that,
but yeah, it's exciting to watch. But
now, granted, let's not get over our skis here. They played the Angels 1-2. The Angels are awful, and Minnesota. I mean, I'm not trying to take away a 9-0 win. You almost throw a no-hitter, but let's not be jumping on the White Sox or going to the playoffs.
I have a question. How many day games do the White Sox have? Are all their games day games?
They might as well. They're going to get more people watching on TV, I guess. It seems
like every game is a day game they've had so far.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Which is fine. I mean, that'd be awesome to be able to watch your team during the day.
I wonder if they obviously, I don't know how much the team decides on what time they're playing, but maybe they're just like, well, there's going to be 10,000 people here no matter what. So
well, it's better than the 9-10 games you've been getting. So.
Mm-hmm. But I also in the same breath like a 9-10 game.
Yeah, some people like to watch them as they're going to bed, but some people can't watch them and go to bed at the same time. So it's kind of tough.
Yep, you're not wrong. But you know what is not tough?
What?
Choosing your coffee in the morning, because you need to be going with our friends at Connect Roasters Coffee. I promise they have the best coffee around. Dom Frederick loves it. Ian Happ loves it. Guy wins Gold Gloves. What more do you need to know, people? Guy starts in the outfield for the Chicago Cubs, and he drinks Connect Roasters every day. So should you. Make sure you go to their website, connectroasters.com. You can find them on X at Connect Roasters. Get yourself over to the storefront in Bourbonnais. I promise you will not be disappointed. So make sure you check out our friends at Connect Roasters. So as always, big shout out to our friends over in Bourbonnais at Connect Roasters. Zach, it's the NCAA tournament. We're nearing the Final Four. We'll talk about the Final Four and the title here in a little bit. But we've got a new team builder that involves some bracket madness here. So we have the National Fast Food Day bracket. Obviously, you can see it on the screen here on YouTube, but we'll go through our matchups. We've got 16 teams. We're each going to battle out to see who our winner is. So do we want to you do your whole bracket, or do we want to go round for round here?
Let's just do let's go. What do you think would be best? Bracket?
Probably just round for round.
Round for round.
So our first round matchup, Chick-fil-A and Whataburger.
I think Chick-fil-A.
Whataburger is solid.
But I've never had it.
I've only had it once, I think.
It's not a local thing.
It's a South thing.
Yeah.
I am going to go Chick-fil-A. I'm not the biggest Chick-fil-A fan. I think it's overrated.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either. I don't think it deserves a 1 seed.
I agree.
But I will say it is better than
Sundays.
Whataburger. Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, let's move down. Chipotle versus KFC in the 8-9 matchup.
I'm going Chipotle.
Chipotle all day.
I think KFC is good, but Chipotle is elite.
Chipotle being an 8 seed is the most disrespectful thing about this.
I don't agree with a lot of these rankings.
Moving on down, we have the number 4 seed Culver's versus the 13 seed Jersey Mike's.
Culver's all day, every day.
This
I love
is
Culver's.
so much closer than you think.
I'm just not a Jersey Mike's guy.
I like Jersey Mike's.
I'm not a fan of the way that they have their sandwiches. Because they only kind of do it one way.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that.
But I'm not saying it's a bad sandwich per se, but it's not what I like.
I will go Culver's here, but I think it's like a 77,
a
71.
Culver's burger? Oh, my goodness gracious.
Moving on down, we have the 5 seed Five Guys versus the 12 seed Taco Bell. 12 seed Taco Bell. I do enjoy Five Guys. I hate paying $18 for a burger. The 12 seed gets the upset in my book all day.
I'm going to go Taco Bell, too, because I've eaten there more, and I don't like how you have to buy the burger and the fries separately at Five Guys.
Yeah.
They should all come in one meal.
Well, I've been over this many times.
Good burgers, I'd say, but I never had a lot of them, and I'm just not a fan of the fries.
Yes, I think their fries stink, and this is also might be a wild take. I don't like that they just dump them all in the bag over everything. Don't like that.
No, thank you.
I need a little bit of organization here. Moving to the 2 versus the 15, we have the number 2 McDonald's versus the 15 seed Panda Express. This is easy. I don't even like McDonald's. I think Panda Express stinks.
I like Panda Express a lot, but McDonald's has to move on here.
Yep.
But Panda Express, I think, is very good.
Do not like Panda Express. I don't know what it is. I probably haven't had it in 10 years, but moving to the 7-10, this is a really good matchup. This is a tough one for me because I'm a Burger King stan. They're coming in as the 10 seed, but the juggernaut Wendy's coming in at the 7 seed.
All day, every day.
Stop
Burger King,
it.
No thank you.
What is with the Burger King disrespect in this country? Those are flame-grilled Whoppers. They're not thrown in a microwave like all these other places.
Sorry. I like what I like, and I don't like what I don't like. I don't like Burger
This
King.
is the toughest matchup for me.
I'm going to have to go In-N-Out with this because I
haven't made my pick yet. I'm still waffling here.
I
know.
My decision should not affect your decision.
I know, but Junior Bacon Cheeseburger from Wendy's is one of the greatest fast food sandwiches of all time.
Oh, you haven't made your decision for that one yet.
I haven't made my decision.
I thought you were getting Burger King.
No, I will take Burger King in the upset here.
Okay, yeah, I'm going Wendy's for sure.
All right, In-N-Out as the 3 seed versus Popeyes as the 14.
I just don't go to Popeyes a lot. There is one now locally, but I think In-N-Out, I've had it only a few times though, is very good.
Upset here. I'm going Popeyes. In-N-Out's good to have when you go to the West Coast. I'm sure I would like it more if it was more local.
See, like the problem with In-N-Out and like Five Guys is they're like strictly burger places, really.
Yeah. So I'll go with the upset here. Moving, this is the easiest one, and I love Domino's, but Domino's coming in at the 11 seed, Subway as the 6. Give me Subway.
Subway is very good.
Elite. This sucks. I think if Domino's should be traded with like maybe Burger King here, because I do love Domino's.
Where is Jimmy John's?
It's not a national chain.
It's not national?
That's a good question.
In-N-Out? In-N-Out can't be national.
All right. I'll do some looking here. How many?
I'm just saying because I went to Jimmy John's today, and I would have to say that's got to go in over. Like, if Jersey Mike's is there.
Remember these numbers. 2,700 locations for Jimmy John's. And
Jersey Mike's.
Oh, I don't think you're going to like this because I think Jersey Mike's 3,000. So there's definitely more Jersey Mike's than but to your point, there's definitely more of those than In-N-Out.
Yeah, for sure.
How many?
Or Five Guys, you'd think.
In-N-Outs are there? Nah, dude, there's Five Guys everywhere. 400 In-N-Outs.
Give me a break.
Get out of here. Sorry, Domino's, I love you, but I've got to go Subway here. All right,
Subway's. Some people hate on Subway. It's good. It's quick.
I love Subway.
Sometimes I like the soup from there too.
I'm not a soup guy.
Well, I like soup.
Yep.
And it's got good soup.
And cookie. I mean, I could sit here and do a whole 10 minutes on how much I love Subway. All right, moving on to our next matchup. I've got Chick-fil-A and Chipotle. This is tough.
Chipotle for me.
Chipotle all day. I hate to take the 1 seed out, but Chipotle is my favorite.
Like I said, I think it's a way overrated 1 seed.
All right, moved on. Culver's and Taco Bell.
I'm gonna go Culver's.
Taco Bell for me. I'm taking Taco Bell to the Final Four.
Culver's is amazing.
So is Taco. I had Taco Bell for dinner last night.
I like Taco Bell, not more than Culver's.
Oh, I very much disagree. McDonald's. You have McDonald's versus Wendy's. I have McDonald's versus Burger King.
I'm gonna go McDonald's just because I go there all the time, and I like Wendy's. Wendy's is very good, but I go to McDonald's all the time. I guess maybe just because there's one where we live that I go there a lot, but I have to go McDonald's.
I will go. I definitely go to McDonald's more, but that's because we have one here. We have 2 here in town, and we don't. But I do. If you said there was a Burger King next to a McDonald's, I would go to Burger King. Give me Burger King here. Give me that flame broiled Whopper with cheese. Give me the onion rings all.
The people can't see I have my expressions behind the bracket, but every time you bring up Burger King, my face gets.
So I've got Burger King in the Final Four, and then I've got Popeyes versus Subway. Did you pick Popeyes or In-N-Out?
I had In-N-Out.
So In-N-Out or Subway?
But either way, I'm going Subway.
Subway for me, too. All right, so I've got Chipotle and Taco Bell.
I've got Chipotle and
Culver's.
And I'm going to go, sorry to cut you off, but Culver's to the championship.
This is the toughest decision I've had to make in a long time. I love both of these very equally. But if there was a Chipotle next to a Taco Bell, I think I'm going Chipotle. So put Chipotle in the Final Four.
That's tough.
That is tough. That breaks my heart a little bit because I do love Taco Bell.
And I have McDonald's and Subway, and I am going to go Subway to the finals.
I've got Burger King and Subway, and I'm going Subway as well. So I've got Chipotle and Subway in my final. This is very tough.
I have Subway and Culver's, and I got Culver's. This is the best. I love Culver's. It's my favorite fast food place.
This is tough. Chipotle or Subway. It's 2 very, very different places.
It's very different, but that's what you want in a championship.
Right. I'm going to do it. Subway. I love Subway. If they weren't 1,300 calories a sandwich, I would go to Subway every day.
Calories are fake.
That's not true.
No,
that's not
true. But you got to think about it like that.
But I love my Final Four here. Sorry, Domino's. If you were in any other bracket, you'd probably be in the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Culver's. Culver's is my favorite place to eat.
Fair enough. Let us know what your guys' bracket is if you can't see it on wherever you are streaming this episode. Audio-wise, make sure you check it out on YouTube. Let's move to the College Hoops Corner. Zach, our Final Four is set for this weekend, and you called it 2 weeks ago, man.
Chalk.
Chalk of chalk, baby.
All 1 seeds.
Now, it's the second time we've seen all 1 seeds.
I think 2008 was the last time. Mm-hmm. But I think I understand everyone wants the Cinderella story, this and that, but you are going to see the 4 best teams play in the Final Four, which is what you want to see.
Exactly.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great Final Four. A lot of these games have been not very good. There's been a lot of blowouts and stuff like that, and even in the Elite Eight, there was quite a bit of blowouts. I don't think there really was a close game. The best game we've had, the finish-wise, was Maryland over Colorado State.
So let's talk about the Elite Eight games a little bit. Florida and Maryland kicked us off 87-71. Pretty easy. That Maryland team looked checked out. They knew Kevin Willard was leaving. I didn't feel much.
Duke dominated Arizona.
But they still only won by 7.
I know, but 108 points in the game is – or
100.
100 points in the game is crazy.
I also gave up 93, though.
Yeah, but a lot of that was garbage time.
Yeah. Alabama beat the brakes off of BYU.
See, that's what happens when you get teams like a BYU. I know they were, 4?
BYU is a 6 seed.
6 seed.
Yep.
That's going to happen later in the tournament.
Eventually, you run out of steam. Teams figure it out.
I mean, they had, I think, the most 3-pointers in NCAA tournament history in one game. I think they had 22 3-pointers in a game.
That's insane. Then Texas Tech comes from behind, sends it to overtime to take out Calipari.
Arkansas with the biggest flop of the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, what they did.
Had that game won.
They had a 16-point lead at one point.
Brutal.
And Texas Tech wins in overtime.
Brutal.
It's tough for Arkansas, and like I said, it was the only team that would have been the only really Cinderella story, as you'd say, left in the tournament, and they blew it.
Moving on to the Friday's game, Auburn.
Wait, there was one more.
No, that was the last one.
I thought Michigan played somebody.
No, they played them on Friday.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Michigan loses by 13 to Auburn. Didn't really feel like Michigan was in that game a ton.
No, Auburn played so well.
Yeah. I mean, Auburn scored almost 50 points in the second half. They were only up 1 at half, so I can't say they weren't in it. But that second half, Auburn just kind of put the screws to them and outscored them by 12. I mean, Auburn just did what everyone expected them to do.
Yeah.
They were just deeper. They were bigger, faster, stronger. Arguably the best game of the weekend, Houston in the last couple seconds on that beautiful inbounds play.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'm wrong. Maryland wasn't the only technically game winner. You can say that Houston shot was a game winner. Just an awful defensive stance for Purdue.
Yep.
The inbounder throws it in. Gets right back to him, an easy layup.
Yep.
But Purdue makes it a game there with like the last minute or so. They come back.
Definitely.
But I have no problem seeing Purdue lose.
No, I completely agree. Michigan State took down Ole Miss 73-70. Game stayed tight. Ole Miss looked good. Michigan State just figured it out at the end.
Yeah, it was one of those games that I think the final few minutes kind of make the score look a little better. Michigan State had a giant second half.
Yeah.
They
were down 2 at half, and
they were the better
figured
team.
It out. You know,
it was a better coach team too.
Yes, and then Tennessee takes down Kentucky. That game never felt close.
Never felt close. And then, like in that situation, you're like,
Tennessee was up 15 at half.
Yeah, you're like Tennessee is going to get their way to the Final Four easily.
Yeah,
and do not.
Florida looked awful in the late second half. I was actually at dinner with my wife's family, watching it on my phone. And they go down 10 points. They go down 71-61. I was like, this thing's over. We're less than like 7 minutes left. And they finished the game on a 23-8 run.
They couldn't make a basket in the first 25, 30 minutes of the game. The last
they were up
7
3
minutes.
At half.
I'm just saying, the last 7 minutes, they could not miss.
Yeah.
Martin, he had an open layup. I've never seen this happen before, and he drove back out to the three-point line and drained a three-pointer. Florida just showed that they were the more dominant team there in the last 5 minutes. And
then Duke handles Alabama pretty easily, 85-65. Alabama couldn't fall out of a boat and hit water.
Well, see, that's what happens when you rely on the three-pointer
Live by the three, you die by the three.
Yeah, and Duke was just unbelievable, and Cooper Flagg didn't even play that well.
Yeah. And still walk away with it.
It just shows you how good that team is overall.
Looking at the Final Four for Saturday, we got an SEC battle in Florida and Auburn. Obviously, I'm taking my Gators, but I am worried because I didn't feel like they played great against UConn. They didn't
cannot
play great.
Do what they did.
Yes.
In the Elite Eight, they have to dominate the whole game because Auburn is a very, very good team.
I agree. Florida is a 2.5-point favorite. That also scares me a little. But like you said, if Florida comes out and plays the way they did in like they played against Tennessee in the SEC championship, and you come out and blitz teams and don't screw around for 20 to 30 minutes and then think you're going to make a run at the end like you did against Texas Tech, Florida
had no chance there. They were down bad.
Gutted. But I do like if Florida has the week to prepare, come out, look the way they can. I like what Florida's
and Auburn is just they're so good.
Yes, they are. And then in the late game, we have Houston and Duke. Duke is a 5.5-point favorite, but, man.
If Houston plays a great game, I mean, Houston is a very good team.
And they're so physical.
And what they have is they are the older team.
Yeah.
That could come into play there at the maybe the second half or something. I think Duke is the better team, but I think that Houston is the more experienced team, and that could win you a Final Four game.
And not to take anything away from John Shire, but Calvin Sampson's been doing this for
But I mean,
feels like forever.
Duke has a starting lineup that is going to go to the NBA.
Yes.
But Houston has a team that's been together for 3 or 4 years here.
Yep.
That could come into play.
I really am hoping I see I think the world wants, I guess I shouldn't say, but I really want to see Florida beat Duke for the national title.
Well, that's my championship game. I missed one. I think Auburn is the only team that I didn't have in the Final Four.
My mother, my 60-plus-year-old mother, has had 7 of the 8 Elite 8 and all 4 in the Final Four.
It's chalk. That's what happens this time of year.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here with a bracket that's like 33 percentile.
Because what you probably overthought.
Oh, 100%.
In a way, you watched too much basketball.
I had Purdue in the national title.
You just don't think there's no way there's going to be all 1 seeds and
Yep.
stuff like that. And then you look, and now there's all 1 seeds. And
here we are.
Here we are. But it's going to be a great Final Four and championship game.
I agree. And so I just saw this. We have 4 teams in the Final Four with a combined 18 losses on the season.
That's crazy.
2, 4, 4, 5, and 5.
Houston's lost, 2 games? 3 games?
No. Florida has 4 losses. Auburn has 5. Duke has 4. Houston has 5.
Oh, okay. They have a lot more than I thought. But they beat a lot of good teams.
Yeah, or vice versa. They've either have 4 or 5. Either way, I think we're in store for an incredible Final Four. We probably will not have a new show out by the time that the national championship happens. We'll probably do it Tuesday next week to recap everything. But go Gators. Would love to see another national title. Haven't seen one since 2008. So.
I need Duke. I have them winning.
Or 07. 07?
I was going to say, well, they won it back-to-back years.
Yeah, it was great.
I didn't know if it was 2008 because that'd be funny that they were they in the last one where there was all 1s?
I'd have to look. I think they were like 06, 07, or 07. I can't remember. Feels like forever ago. Let's wrap things up. As always, we've got the TCF top 3, and these are our desired athletic abilities. So whatever we wish we could do athletically. Do you want to go first, or I think you probably there's an obvious 1-1, but like you've done it before.
Barely.
I've dunked a tennis ball once.
Okay, I'm gonna go with dunk.
Yeah,
but the easy dunk, the off the 2 feet, just lay it in. I barely dunked one time, and I think the basket was a little too small. Like it was actually not the right height.
Yep.
But to be able just to dunk with ease would have been so amazing.
The closest I ever got when I lived in Rockford and coached basketball up there, all I did was coach basketball and workout. For like a year, that's all I did. And one night they had like a pickup open gym, and I went in there after a leg workout and I dunked a tennis ball on one of the side hoops, and I've never come close ever since. So I'm very, very jealous of that. My first round pick is to throw 100 miles an hour. I have a little bit of a weird throw. I've got like a little hitch in my throw.
Yeah, that's why you don't throw 100.
I'd probably throw harder than you.
Well, you do. I do not.
You want to get a gun out?
I do not. I've never said to throw a baseball very hard.
Well, those in glass houses shouldn't throw 100-mile-an-hour heaters because that's what I would do.
Excuses for why you don't throw 100 miles an hour.
I could throw it harder than you. No clue where it's going to go.
Yeah, I cannot throw a baseball very hard.
I would hurt someone. 100 miles an hour. I will also go. This is tough. There's so many here. I don't want to just be like run faster than a 6-second 40-yard dash.
Speed. You're going to say speed.
I'll say that. Run faster than a 5-second 40-yard dash. So something in the 4s.
That would be awesome.
I think so. Like the 1 year I played football, we did like 40-yard dash times, and I was like 15. And I want to say my 40-yard dash time was like 6:02.
I don't think mine would be
6:2 or something.
Not a fast guy.
Granted, I was 5'6", 190 pounds. So.
Yeah. But either way,
as round as I was tall.
I'm going to go with. I wish I could throw a ball and a dime as a quarterback.
Yeah,
just be able to throw it wherever.
That's a good one.
Yeah, in the pocket, right through a window, and fast.
Yep. All right, I'll give you that. That's a good one.
And I get one more, right?
Yep.
What would be? Well, I would like to be able to hit a 90 to 100 mile per hour fastball.
So I'm throwing 100. You'd like to be able to hit it.
Yeah, because that seems impossible.
Yeah, that is tough. I'll give you that one.
People to judge that it's a strike or a ball and then hit it within seconds. I think baseball, hitting a baseball is maybe the hardest thing to do.
I think so, too. I don't disagree with you at all. There's one I'll bring up in our honorable mentions because we're both idiots for not bringing this one up. But for my third-round pick, I am going to go with – this is probably stupid. Switch hit.
That'd be awesome.
I can swing left-handed. I can't make contact left-handed the way I do right-handed.
That would be very cool.
But like to be Ian Happ and be able to, at a professional level, to hit from both sides of the plate.
To be able to hit a home run, a major league home run from both sides of the plate is very cool and very difficult.
The one we both should have taken very early was to hit every tee shot on the fairway.
I guess I don't think about
every tee shot to the fairway.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh, here's another one. I just want to be able to hit out of the sand. That is the worst part of my golf game.
I didn't even think about golf. Or putt.
2-putt every hole.
To be able to read a putt.
These feel like, when we're talking about these are almost like mythological.
It'd be cool to be able to throw with both. Like,
I had thought about that too. Ambidextrous. Yep. I had thought about that too.
Which I don't think is that big of a deal. It doesn't make you like a better player per se,
but it makes you a lot more
desirable.
I agree. What else? Like, I don't know how to word this, but like Steph Curry range.
Yeah, just like shoot a 3-pointer with ease.
Yeah, that would be a really good one. This is so meathead of me, but in my brain, I immediately went to like bench 500 pounds, squat 1,000, deadlift 1,000, like
to be able like to juke and not fall over.
Or like tear a ligament.
Yeah, like be able to go side to side super quick.
Yeah, that's a really good. Or the other one I thought of was just like run and not get tired.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's impossible.
I would assume like the amazing like marathon runners, like they still get winded but not like
play like midfield in soccer and just be able to go
just run
all game long
for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Like just be able to play defense and offense, but like not get tired.
I have a better chance at throwing 100 miles an hour than I do at playing midfield.
Yeah,
there's just never gonna happen.
Because like what Shohei does is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
be able to pitch and play the field. That's almost next to impossible.
Yeah. I'm trying to think something hockey related, but like 100+ mile an hour slap shot.
I like to be able to skate.
I can't. That's
I can't
one thing
skate,
I can
but like.
do.
But you can skate, but you can't skate at a fast speed.
Right.
Like to be able to stop on a dime.
Oh, like, I fall down.
You go to watch some of these hockey games, and they're just flying around and they stop.
And then the other one, I've skied before. I wish I knew how to snowboard.
Yeah.
That's one thing that just
or the ability to be a goalie. Be that flexible.
Yeah.
And be able to be in that position for that long.
Throw everything around. I agree. Let us know what you guys got, what your desired athletic abilities. That's going to do it for us for episode 252. Make sure you check us out on X at typical_Chicago, Facebook, Instagram. Follow the TikTok page as well, Typical Chicago Fan on there. For all of our content in video form, make sure you head on over to YouTube, subscribe there. Wherever you get your podcast, 5 stars, rate, review, subscribe, whatever you can, wherever you get your podcast. You can check us out there. Make sure you check out our friends at Connect Roasters. Get your best coffee for your morning routines. You can find me on X at BoomyTCF, Zach at ZLiliaTCF. As always, guys, we'll be back next week, probably Tuesday, record Tuesday night, and we will be back after the national championship. We always thank you guys for joining us. That was episode 252 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.